But one thing that sort of catches the eye of people that come to Kruger Park or the parks around Kruger is that from time to time we get these larger coalitions of males.
Yes.
So we've got Casper the white lion here around Satara and his 3 coalition partners. And they're a slightly different kettle of fish, these larger coalitions. They do things a little bit different. And so sometimes what they might do is they might say, well, let's take over a pride, a local pride. So in this case it was probably the Satara pride, and breed and invest time and energy with them. But they know that they've got strength of numbers on their side. And so this tends to lead them a little bit astray at times. They start to create liaisons and friendships with lionesses and other prides around. And so they tend to not stick to home base as much as as they perhaps should. Because staying at home and looking after Pride A's cubs is vital up until the cubs are around about 20-24 months of age. Otherwise the chance of those cubs being killed by other males is relatively high. So if you decide to have relationships with Pride B and Pride C and Pride D while you still got young cubs in Pride A, it can work if you really invest very intensely in protecting Pride A's territory for a long period of time. So I think in the case of Casper and his mates here with the Satara pride, they've tended to wander around a little bit too much, even though they come back and check on the Satara pride from time to time. And so the numbers of cubs in the Satara pride have sort of dwindled a little bit. A better model would have been to do what some other coalitions of males do, typically paired males, sometimes 3, is to sort of follow the normal takeover Pride A model, but when they assess that their cubs are about 12 months or so of age and sort of relatively safe, take over Pride B next door as well. And then spend a lot of time with Pride B, but go back to Pride A on a regular basis to check that things are okay. So you do these quick patrols where they walk throughout the night, scent marking, roaring, scent marking, roaring, scent marking, roaring, all around the edge of Pride A's territory, reinforcing the signals, those territorial signals, and then going back to Pride B and then showing off and being the big bravado boys, convincing the females to come into season and to mate with them. And so if they do that then and they have those skills, then they can breed successfully with Pride A, breed successfully with Pride B, while establishing relations with Pride C. And so this is one way that males can increase the reproductive opportunities that they have in life. It's a tough life for lions. If you look around here at Satara, you'll find beautiful big male lions, and then you'll find other male lions who are typically carrying hip injuries or injuries from other types of fights and things that happen to them in life. And so their reproductive lifespan, the time in which they can put cubs into the next generation, is typically only between about 6 years of age and 10 or 11. And so if you stayed with one pride for 3 years, you'd breed at 6, you'd breed at 9, and you'd never breed again. And so it would be quite a short amount, quite a small amount of cubs that you could produce. But if you were able to access maybe 3 or even 4 prides during your life, then your lifetime reproductive success would be doubled. And so it's a clever strategy, but not all lions are equipped to do it. And so you have these from the very simple stay with one group for a long time and look after it, invest in it for a long time strategy, and then you've got this sort of one in between where you've got some males that take over one pride and then move sequentially to different prides, and then you've got the larger coalitions who tend to sort of almost get it wrong, and they bounce around between too many different groups. They lose track a little bit of what's going on, and that often results in some of those cubs not making it. And so you'll see every one of those examples and everything in between in Kruger National Park. It's just the way it is. In such a beautiful, huge system with so many lions, there's going to be a lot of different expression of the general pattern.